Good evening, everyone. My name is Daddy Alex. This is POPRAGEOUS. Saturday night, midsummer Saturday night. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And it is the Odyssey. It is the Odyssey Saturday night. Now, you know what? We get right into it. I know that people that know me know that, I've spent a lot of years in Los Angeles. I'm a screenwriter. Done a lot of things in front of the camera, behind the camera. Award-winning screenwriter with many a screenplays. And I tell you, man, the craziest thing, I'm going to tell you, if you haven't seen the Odyssey, I'll tell you right now, don't go see it. I'm telling you, don't go see it. It is literally like I said it in the thumbnail, guys, this is a $250 million B movie. It's a $250 million B movie. It is shocking. It is shocking how bad the Odyssey is. And here's the crazy thing. So when I'm going into a movie, my expectations were so low because very early on, and you could go back through all of the live streams, I have said since day 2. Now, the first day, I remember hearing about Nolan. I thought, you know what? Okay, he might be, this might be okay. Might be. On the next day, I said, you know what? Hold on. I don't think, look, and I will argue with anybody. I still have nobody that will come on and argue that The Dark Knight is one of the worst written screenplays ever. The Dark Knight, not The Dark Knight Rises, which is actually even worse than The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight as a screenplay is horrendous. It is a terribly written screenplay. Why is it an okay movie? Because Nolan is amazing at spectacle. He is able to take his, I would say, like a first year university student writing. And I took creative writing in university. I'm a writer. That's what I do. When you see, there's many a writer that. What are Christopher Nolan's strengths? They're not writing a screenplay, my friends. They are not writing a freaking screenplay. Okay, they're not. I hate this chair. I bought a new chair and I hate this chair. It's out of here next week. But guys, I'm telling you. Has he done some really good movies? He's done a couple of really good movies. The Christopher Nolan magic, the little crown that he wears is, if you ask me, it's finished with this movie. This movie, and I will show you in this show tonight how bad this movie is really doing. I will also show you, and I want to spend a lot of time on this guy. Not a lot of time. I want to spend about 30 minutes to show you the fraud, the consumer fraud that is being perpetrated on the reviews. You know how they all the review, whether it's IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, they filter reviews and they allow 10 all the bots to come on. I'm not sure if they're all bots. I think a lot of it is rooms in the Philippines or India, Bangladesh, where they pay people to go and they go make these very low level. Not low level, but it doesn't cost them anything. Pennies on the dollar. Now, I will show you a company that got fined from the FTC for doing something like this. We'll go through it quickly, what they were fined for, how much they were fined, specifically what they were fined for. And I will show you exactly the fraud that's being perpetrated on the review system. Now, why is it fraud? I'll tell you why it's fraud. Because when people go and review, it's like reviewing a product. You go and review a product. I think this product is a 2 out of 5. Why? Because I didn't like this, and this. Well, the company then deletes it. Delete. Temu does this. Just delete the negative reviews. Well, everyone likes this product. How many times have you guys gone to Amazon and you've purchased something because the reviews are good. You said, okay, look at the reviews. These reviews are fantastic. But all the negative ones have been deleted. That's the problem. I'm going to show you the actual FTC ruling that one company got. But now all of a sudden, when it comes to movies, we'll go through the definition of consumer fraud, this is what is happening. Now, this might sound like a pretty big grand, but this is exactly what is being perpetrated on the public. When you manipulate reviews for the sole purpose of creating a mystique, an enigma about a movie that is false, you are much more apt to go and watch the thing. You really are. Because if everyone came in there and all the Nolan reviews came in and there's like a 2 and a 3 and a 5 and a 4 and a 6 and a 3, this is a bad movie, guys. I gave it a 5 out of 10. I did on IMDb. My real thought was 4 out of 10. I gave it an extra point because of Christopher Nolan. Well, not just that. I think this is a part of the crown that is being, just like Steven Spielberg. If you guys are old enough to remember Steven Spielberg, look, Spielberg, you talk about 2.5 decades of brilliant movies, from E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind going all the way up to Minority Report. Steven Spielberg was the director that Christopher Nolan ultimately wants to be. Christopher Nolan does not have the skill set of Steven Spielberg. Christopher Nolan, this is the most expensive B movie that has ever been made in Hollywood, guys. It really is. It really is. Applaud. Yes. It's garbage. This is such a bad movie. It really is. So those are my opening thoughts. My expectations were very low, which is what shocks me. Usually, when you go into a movie, your expectations are set pretty low. And you're like, okay, well, I'm not expecting much, so I'll probably be happily impressed to some degree. No, and look, as a screenwriter and a person who spent 20 years in Hollywood, I got nothing against Nolan. There's nothing that benefits my cause to be so adamant that this is an absolutely terrible movie, whether it's casting, whether it's screenplay, look, you know what? Stop the practical effects. I'm not impressed. We didn't need to do practical effects since the mid-1990s, when computers became powerful enough where we could actually change Could you imagine if the Lord of the Rings was all done with just practical effects? Could you imagine what Lord of the Rings we would have got? Think about that. There's nothing great. Oh wow, it's all practical effects. Holy shit. Dude, you got CGI. You got the most powerful computers in the frickin' world. Digitize that IMAX stuff. Look, so much of what went on in the Odyssey did not work. The Cyclops was clumsy. The whole Cyclops bit. Did you see the animatronic arm? If you go see it, you'll see this animatronic arm standing there. You can just see don't hit the animatronic arm when you run under it. Don't hit the animatronic arm when you run under it, okay? Action. You can just hear it. Like, holy jeez. If you see it, guys, you will laugh. I laughed in the theater. I swear, I laughed 6, 7, maybe 8 times. I laughed at the end endlessly. When Matt Damon he's surrounded by 8 guys. He's got an arrow. He's like, come on, come after me. Holy, what the hell am I watching here? It was like, you know what it felt like? I'll tell you what the third act felt like. This is what the third act felt like. It felt like Nolan had a time limit. It's like, look, you lose your editing time on this date. And it felt like the ending just had to be And and look, you could have cut that ending down by a half hour easily, right? Did anyone who's out there who saw that ending, you could have the drums, the do 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 do. It goes on and on and on. It's like every time you think there's no resolution, there's no resolution. I mean, I was thinking for a sec there because I saw the afternoon show on Thursday. I thought, holy God, they're going to keep me here till nighttime, till like midnight. Listen. listening to this drum beat. I'll be there till midnight. I mean, the Odyssey, guys, there are some good scenes, especially on the ocean, that they shot, but the sound mixing. I'm a former musician as well. I used to play. I used to be the front guy. I used to write and sing, write songs, play songs, go in the studio, and so I know a little bit about sound. I took sound engineering courses. Not that you need to take sound engineering courses to know, because when your ears hurt because the sound of the ocean is like, it's at minus 0.1 decibels and everything else is being played at minus 7 decibels. If you know anything about sound, dBs are all negative. But on that first ocean scene, you're like, holy Jesus, what? I was in the back of the theater. I'm like, okay, this is nuts, man. Like, what? Dear God. Okay, so guys, the screenplay. Being a screenwriter, I've always maintained this is one of the, Christopher Nolan is one of the worst screenwriters there is. He gets away, just like Guillermo del Toro, he gets away from the Dark Knight, which is, look, you take Heath Ledger out of that, what do you got? You got shit. You got shit. And again, my offer stands as a screenwriter who spent 20 years in Los Angeles. Thank you very much. My offer stands to any other screenwriter to go one-on-one with me with The Dark Knight. We'll go scene by scene. If you think The Dark Knight is a good screenplay, bring it on. I'll tear it apart. I'm already making a video scene by scene at how laughable The Dark Knight is. That what people think. You think this is a good screenplay? Really? The Odyssey is even worse than The Dark Knight. Now The Dark Knight Rises is even worse than that, right? We know it. Come on. If I got to convince you of that, I mean, my work, I have John gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, John Leguizamo. He deserves a Razzie Award. His acting was so pathetic in The Odyssey. He needs a Razzie Award. As a matter of fact, a lot of the actors need a Razzie Award. Worst acting, worst casting, worst. Holy jeez. I have never seen, like, it makes, you know what this makes me wonder? What is Tom Holland going to do if this is, now granted, a bad script? Look, and if you've never been behind in a movie set or written a screenplay, understand pre-production, production, what it takes to go through it's really hard to sort of, because it's a whole different world once you get behind the scenes of a real movie, right? How screenplay turns into storyboards, how storyboards turns into set locations, set design, costumes. I could spend a half hour with the ridiculous. Did the Numenorians, I tell you, man, did the Rings of Power lend Christopher Nolan the Numenorian armor? What the fuck was the armor? The armor of the Trojans. Now, holy jeez. Now, I watched, guys, this afternoon as I'm putting some videos together. I'm putting the live stream together. I actually, you know what I watched? I watched Troy. I've seen it 5 or 6 times. Look, Brad Pitt doesn't like it, and I get why he doesn't like it. It's not his best performance. The lines were, basic. There should have been some nuance given to Achilles, but the grandeur compared to the Odyssey, the grandeur, those walls of Troy that they put up, those were the walls of Troy. If you've watched the movie Troy, the grandeur of the ships coming in. That's what I thought we were getting from the Odyssey. I thought we were getting epic scenes. But you know what you realize? And I realize, I'm actually a computer guy. I write code. I do I do all of my own editing, all of my own everything. I'm a computer guy. I always have been. If you're not doing CGI, someone commented if they were going to have something with Poseidon, if they're going to put Poseidon in the ocean and have like a hand or something that shows Poseidon in the ocean working against Odysseus, which that was the idea, right? That the Cyclops being the son of Poseidon, that Poseidon was working against Odysseus. But how do you, from a practical perspective, make this hand go up or something, right? Look, stop. Can I say one? I'll say one thing here. Stop the fucking practical effects. It's okay to use CGI, motherfucker. It's okay. Stop the practical effects. Throw in some CGI, just a little bit, right? This is 30 years ago. 30 years ago, we didn't have any CGI. Remember when Tom Hanks did Big? Remember when Tom Hanks did Big? Yeah, those were the days when we didn't have CGI. The computers. Nolan. Christopher, can I call you Christopher? Let someone else write your stupid screenplays, or at least let a real screenwriter read your screenplay. I have two guys. When I write a screenplay, I send my screenplay, and I got a lot of times, you put a V, right? Version what? A lot of times my versions go into like the 3 digits, version 121. That's how you write a screenplay. That's how you write it. It becomes version after version after version after version. I think this guy, Christopher Nolan, he writes a screenplay. First draft, he goes, that's done. Sign off on that, baby. This movie, I'll guarantee you guys, here's the other thing. This movie is the end of Christopher Nolan's crown. Studios will not risk this kind of money. Now, we've talked about money. $250 million budget. I'm going to say $150 million marketing. Minimum. Now, the math, when you get into the math of, and I used to work at the stock market, so economic analyst and, pulling apart company economics. But understand, do you think Christopher Nolan walked into this movie without a percentage? Do you really think about this? $250 million budget, $150 million in marketing. Do you really think Christopher Nolan walked into this movie without a percentage? I'll guarantee you, Christopher Nolan is getting 10% of the gross. I'll guarantee you that. 10%. I don't know why I'm applauding that. Why not? 10% of the gross. I'll guarantee you, maybe even 12.5. I will guarantee you, Nolan is getting 10 to 12.5% of the gross. So when everyone's out there doing their numbers, because they're doing just based on, a lot of people haven't worked in Hollywood. I did. 20 years in that freaking hellhole. It's been about a year since I moved out of Los Angeles, okay? Created my own production company. That's what POPRAGEOUS is. It's my own production. I will eventually get to my own. So if you sign up and you're going to follow us here on POPRAGEOUS, you'll be helping an independent screenwriter and producer. So, but anyway, if he's getting 10 or 12 points, sometimes they get 15 points. Do you think that Christopher Nolan, after Oppenheimer, do you think about this? Think about this. After Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan walks in. I'm going to do the Odyssey. I want 15 points. We'll give you 10, 12.5. Okay. 12.5 points. With John Campea here? Where's John Campea? We need his brilliant math skills. John Campea. This guy's got to stay away from math, man. Holy frick, man. But I do have I have a science channel. I love astrophysics. I love math. But if you take 12 point, I don't even need to use a calculator. If you take 12.5%, 0.125, and you multiply that through, which actually becomes 25%, because the theater gets half, your break even is easily over $1 billion, my friends. Do you honestly think that Christopher Nolan did not walk into Universal and say, look, I am Christopher Nolan, I am Oppenheimer. right? I, how do I do? Let me, hold on a sec. I've got,
I am Oppenheimer.
right. That's when he just goes in there.
You want to do my movie? You want my movie? I want 15 points. I want 15 points off the gross.
That's so if you don't think Christopher Nolan is getting 10, 12 and a half percentage points off the gross, you're an idiot. Because after Oppenheimer, he's at his zenith. He is not at his zenith now, man. I'll tell you, man, the executives at all the studios, do you think they're stupid? Well, yeah, okay, they are. Okay, no, jeez, I kind of walked myself into a corner there, right? Look, Zaslav at Warner is not stupid. David Zaslav at Warner, he's not stupid. And that brings up another thing, whether Paramount is actually going to be able to get the Warner. And I maintain, guys, that the Warner deal, because Warner is only trading at $27, which is a full 15, 20% off of the acquisition price, which means the market is saying, no. I question whether this is going to go through. So the lawsuit just went through on 12 states. Warner, Paramount coming together, the EU still needs to chime in. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on before Paramount and Warner comes in. But do you really think that David Zaslav would look, they just want the hits. They want the intellectual property. So Christopher Nolan walks in and says, well, I just did Oppenheimer. Did you see Barbie and Oppenheimer? We really worked well. You know, Christopher Nolan smile. I got nothing against Christopher Nolan. He's just a real shitty screenwriter. He really is. He really is. Now I'm gonna get into the fraud, the consumer fraud, the FTC. I want to show you an example of consumer fraud. How one company, Fashion Nova, if you know FashionNova.com, I know FashionNova.com. They were in Los Angeles. They are in Los Angeles. They got fined for manipulating reviews. Manipulating reviews. We're going to go into what consumer fraud is. We're going to dive into the idea of consumer fraud as it relates to movie reviews. If you knew that a movie was getting a 1, a 2, a 3, a 2, a 4, a 1, but all those were being filtered out for one reason or another, and you get this glowing review. Now, Critical Drinker, I got and thank you, Critical Drinker. He did a lot of work out because this is what I was going to do. He did it. I thought, okay, you know what? I'm going to take his graphic. I'm going to give him credit for it. I'm going to use it. Now, I have done things like this on other movies, proving that, look, do you really think that anybody is going to waste their money to spend to buy people in Bangladesh to negative review bomb something? Where's the financial benefit in spending money to review bomb something? It's absolutely asinine. Nobody's review bombing anything. The only financial incentive for anybody, and that is the studios, my friends, the frickin' studios. They have been doing this for the better part of 6, 7, 8 years. They've been screwing around with the review process. It has become, since Rings of Power came out, that's when things really exploded. If you remember when Rings of Power came out, the first episode, it was deluged. It was so bad. Remember the hat and the little floating down that first episode was deluged with negative, and they froze. And that was now Rotten Tomatoes wasn't as affected. I think Metacritic is still the only one that's got half decent, reliable numbers. But the consumer fraud, that's very serious. Potential consumer fraud on the part of these studios. We are going to investigate this. I'm going to show you this, and you're going to go, holy shit. Are the studios perpetuating a fraud on the public? Because if you get a score. If you get a score on IMDb that's 8.3, right now the Odyssey is 8.3, and I'll show you why it's not. I will prove to you why it's not here in a few minutes. I want to go through this movie really quickly. I did on my Thursday show. The directing, guys. First, so the screenplay is absolute garbage. It's absolute garbage. The directing, look, it's hard to know from the directing. A lot of times the directing is directing the actors. The actors and the casting in this movie was abhorrent. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I am stamping my feet to the Razzie Awards. If John Leguizamo does not get a Razzie for the worst actor in a supporting role, I don't know. I don't. What are we talking about then? What are we talking about? John Leguizamo was this a comedy? Is this, what the fuck am I watching? What am I watching? What is this? Can I share this? Can I share this? I gotta share this. I mean, you could have fun with this B, a $250 million B movie. That's what the Odyssey is. And I'm being nice. What is it? War. Oh, how come it's not coming? Oh yeah, there it is right there. Yeah. That's what it is. Now this is the Rings of Power. But you tell me that they didn't rape the idea. Like, did you see the Trojans? Did you see the Trojan warriors? Now I just watched Troy. Now the armor in Troy was pretty darn good, right? It was pretty darn. There's plenty enough you can rip the movie Troy about. Plenty. There's plenty. This is the Rings of Power. The Númenóreans are coming to town, motherfucker. The Númenóreans are the Nova. Of course. These are what the Trojans look like. Trojans, halt! Motherfucker. The armor, the everything. I mean, you could go to the last scene, like, so, Troy, and that's the one thing Troy did really well with Brad Pitt. They had these 60-foot walls, and these walls were like 20 feet thick. Like, these walls were impregnable. Impregnable? What? Impregnable. And you could not impregnate them. That's one thing. That's for sure. You couldn't do. You could not put your PP inside these walls and impregnate them. These walls were so big. So at the ending, you're like, it's the same as Superman 2025. This is what it reminded me of. Bear with me. Did you guys watch Superman 2025? Look, DCU was fucking done. The DCU? DC who? DC what? DC shite? The first 3 movies of the DCU that James Gunn has, all this, he had years to put this together. It's 3 super something movies, right? That's all he's got. And then a Clay, fuck, whatever. That's a different episode. So the ending, just like Superman 25, remember in Superman 2025, when the fence comes down and they got 2 tanks. That's all Baravia has is 2 tanks and 1 troop carrier. And of course, you see all these, like, everyone that's attacking is white, right? Everyone that's attacking is white. And then down below there, you got the other country that is just a mishmash of everyone else in the world, right? It's just, okay, well, jeez, okay, whatever. Okay, you want me to buy it? Okay, I'll buy it. Okay, whatever. But it's like they had $100 left in the budget. Like, how do we do this? The same thing at the ending of Troy when they do the flashback. When they got this little gate. It kind of reminds me of the Mines of Moria, in Lord of the Rings. I always thought when, speak, friend, and enter, they always should have had a bigger gate. I always envisioned the Mines of Moria having a bigger gate. It's just one of those things, right? That's what I thought. But that's fine. That actually worked okay. It worked okay. It wasn't because Peter Jackson used CGI. That's why he actually used CGI. Christopher Nolan, learn how to use a fucking computer. Maybe your Cyclops wouldn't have looked like an animatronic hand. How do I do this? How do I do an animatronic hand? I don't know. You guys, if you go see the movie, and I'm telling you, don't go see the movie, you will watch this movie on a Saturday night. I'm telling you. You'll watch it with your buddy, your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, your boyfriend, whatever the hell it is. You will watch it on a Saturday night. An hour and a half into it, you will fall asleep. You'll wake up and you go, oh, we'll just watch it tomorrow. And you will never watch the ending. That's what this movie is. You will never, after that, you will never watch the ending. That's how bad it is. Cheers, guys, on a Saturday night. It's hot where I am. I got a fan literally blowing on me. With lights and everything. It's like, cheers to your health. Hey, my name is Danny Alex. This is POPRAGEOUS. I do have a new POPRAGEOUS channel that's starting next week on Tuesday. POPRAGEOUS Live. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. If you want to hang out with me, POPRAGEOUS Live is check it out. There's the so anyway, I am a screenwriter. I spent 20 years in Los Angeles. I've won. I believe I've won hundreds of awards around the world, and I've never sold a screenplay. Thank God. Thank God. Christopher Nolan. Hey, you want to sell one of your screenplays? Well, you gonna butcher it up like the Odyssey? I guess. Well, money buys everything, right? The casting is terrible. So if you're gonna the girl that played the witch. What was the witch's name? Look, bad. One thing you gotta remember, guys. Bad John Leguizamo. He's the Razzie Award. Give John Leguizamo a Razzie Award, please. If Keanu Reeves got a Razzie Award, John Leguizamo. If he doesn't get a Razzie Award for this, look, there's a lot of Razzie Awards that you could put out this. Bernthal. What's it? John Bernthal, right? Robert Pattinson was absolutely horrid. So he was the main antagonist. This is what you got to ask yourself, right? So you're writing a screenplay. When I write a screenplay, I generally try to understand what's the main overarching battle? What's this? What are they fighting for, right? That's what I have to understand when I write a screenplay. Who's the protagonist and what do they want in this battle? Who's the antagonist and what does the antagonist want in this battle? You need to have the macro. When you have the macro, so you look at Robert Pattinson. Look, man, I will frickin' argue anybody. Any other screenwriter out there that wants to argue with me on this, bring it. We'll go one-on-one. We'll do this frickin' live. Dark Knight Rises, any Nolan screenplay, I'll happily take the other side. Happily. But you want to go one-on-one with me with the Odyssey? Is there any screenwriter? There's a lot of people that know me in Los Angeles. John Truby. Hey, John. You want to go live one-on-one with me and argue the merits of one of... I know you love The Dark Knight. You love The Dark Knight. How about going one-on-one with me live and arguing the merits or the demerits of a crap screenplay like The Dark Knight, or even how about The Odyssey? How about The Odyssey, which is one of the worst A movies disguised. It's a B movie disguised as an A movie. Shite. Absolute shite. The casting was terrible, guys. Tom Holland. Why was Zendaya in it? She didn't have to be in it. Like, really. Now, there is a lot of feminist messages, guys. A lot of feminist messages. If men were so bad and so evil through all this, why don't the women go pick up the battle axes and go to war? Then you fucking go to war. You go fight. Does anyone want to go to war wearing armor and, like, you know, if you're gonna die, you're gonna die from like a hacked and slashed. Half your arm gets hacked off, then part of your leg gets hacked off. You don't die right away. You get to die over a couple of hours. It's real fun, right? Boy, real fun. How about women go do that? Now, if you ever watch women in a hair salon, if you ever watch women in a hair salon, Women who work at hair salons will attest to this. Women should not be running anything. Sometimes you got to question, should they be running scissors? Put those scissors down, lady. Just kidding. Just kidding. Fuck, you can't take a joke. It's like when what's her name was changing them. Cersei was changing them all into pigs, right? Oh, they're taking their true form. Okay. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. The true form of this movie. You talk about pigs. We want to talk about pigs. The Odyssey is like so bad. I'm telling you, and I'm not saying it because I don't dislike Nolan. I'm not there. Like I don't know the guy. I got no qualms. I don't have a pig in this fight. Can I say that? I don't got a pig in this fight. This is a pig. They put lipstick on the pig, right? I'm telling you, man. Envision this. Let me just put this in perspective. You got a pig. It got Odyssey written on the side. Right? It's a freaking pig. Odyssey on the side. It's the movie. The pig is the movie. They put lipstick on it. That's not enough. You can't put lipstick on this pig and make it look. So they put eyeshadow on it. A little bit of eyeshadow. No. We need more. They put a foundation on this pig's face. So now we got eyeshadow, foundation, and lipstick on this pig's face. Now that's not enough. We need some eyelash. We need to extend the. Okay, let's put some eyelash extenders on. Boom. They put some eyelash. No. We're gonna tweeze the eyebrows. This is the Odyssey pig they're trying to dress up, right? Because the lipstick wasn't enough to dress this pig up. This is the Odyssey pig. And even with all the lipstick and foundation and eyeliner and eyelash extensions and the tweezing of the eyebrows, this Odyssey pig movie still looks like a frickin' B movie. The casting was horrible. Again, I will reiterate, John Leguizamo for a Razzie Award. Robert Pattinson, I did touch on the problem with Robert Pattinson was he's the main antagonist, right? So the main antagonist needs to feel threatening, right? The main antagonist, who's a good example of a great antagonist? Well, everyone knows Thanos, right? Everybody knows Thanos. They set him up pretty good. Doomsday is going to be a freaking disaster. We'll touch on that on a later POPRAGEOUS video. Doomsday will be a disaster, and I'll tell you guys why. But that's a story for another day. And I've been saying this for quite a while, and I'm not the only guy saying it. I'm not saying, "Ooh, Danny's got some information that is." Well, maybe I do. I don't know. Robert Pattinson as the main antagonist. So when you watch him, you got to think this is the main antagonist. This is the guy. Did he ever feel threatening? Did he ever feel like, wow, this guy's really scary. No. Robert Pattinson. I'm gonna put Robert Pattinson and John Leguizamo in there for a Razzie, baby. Give him a frickin' Razzie.
You're boring. Yeah, baby.
Worst casting? What's the worst casting in the Odyssey? Yes. I never got the casting. From day one, guys, I never understood the casting. I thought all he does is he just keeps hiring people he's worked with before. He has no casting protocol beyond the people that he's worked with. Why did Elliot Page get casting? Well, because she, I'm telling you, and then when you hear, have you seen the Odyssey? You tell me when Elliot Page, what the frickin' name is it? Is he, she? What? I don't know. You could hear that is a female trying to transition into a male. You hear it. I'm not saying that Elliot Page doesn't deserve the same human compassion as everyone else does. She does. He does. I mean, all human beings deserve. No one deserves to be bullied. No one deserves to be treated anything less than respected as a human being, period. But when you put yourself into the creative element, you allow yourself, look, I used to be a musician. And do you think musicians aren't absolutely, I remember reading my first negative review, and I got a few positive ones back in the day. I had a few, and you read your negative review, you're like, they don't even know me. They're talking about my personality, and they don't even know me. And I think when most people meet me, they're like, oh, that Danny guy's he's an okay guy, right? He's kind of a, I hate being mean to people. I do. I respect people. But when you put yourself in the creative element, you expose yourself to criticism, to be criticized, because you are now in that element. Now, Travis, why the hell was Travis Scott in there? Can someone please tell me why the fuck was Travis Scott in this movie? Why? I'll tell you why. Because it allowed us to put a little bit more diversity. A little bit more diversity in this thing. I was actually born in Brno. It's kind of like you have to use the R as like they do in Numernorien. Brno, Czech Republic, just outside of Prague. That's where I was born. 8 months later, I was, because the Russians invaded in 1968, and all of a sudden my family had to, get the hell away because my dad's name was on the list. When the Russian pig dogs, go Ukraine, go, kick those Russian pig dogs' asses. Yeah, man. Just coming from a guy that was born in Eastern Europe. But I came to the shores of North America when I was 8 months old, right? So I do have family that is sort of in that Central European, and do I respect the culture of Greece? Oh, fuck yeah, I do. I took antiquity in university. Guys, understand, Greece is the foundation. Greece, if you've taken any history buffs, history bros, any history bros out there? Talk to me. The Greeks are the foundation of Western civilization. They are everything. Why is it that you never hear about this transition between Rome and Greece, right? When was it that Rome took over from Greece? It was because basically Rome knew what the Greeks were doing. It was the Hellenistic period. Alexander the Great has got more to do with today's Western civilization than any other human being that has ever lived. Alexander the Great. When he conquered the world, his empire turned into the Hellenistic period. And it was that Hellenistic period that turned into, when Rome came in, that sort of annexed those ideas, those concepts, science, the technology, everything that the Greeks had. Greece is the foundation of Western civilization. I don't know how. I think we had an Asian Greek. We had a very, I think from someone from India. The guy with the beard that was talking, I think he was from India or Bangladesh. I don't know where he was from. Very dark. Odysseus put an arrow right through the one African, the black guy that was friends with Robert Pattinson. He got an arrow in the neck. There's a lot of diverse casting in this for a Greek. Now, for a Greek, here's the thing. If this was something to do with the Congo, right? The dynasty of the Congo. Was there a dynasty of the Congo? I don't think there were 2-story buildings or wheels or anything. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not. I'm just saying if there was, they do allow ethno-states because Wakanda proves that you can create an ethno-state. No, we don't. I'm sorry. What is we only allow black people in Wakanda because that's all we see there. I mean, can I get citizenship to Wakanda? No. You're Slavic. Yes, I am Slavic. My people were the original slaves. That's where the word slave comes from, Slavic. My people are the original slaves. We are Slavic. I am a slave. I'm proud of it. I do not appreciate the word slave being culturally misappropriated from my people. Google it. Where did the word slave come from? It came from the Slavic people. Thank you. I was the original slave. This is what the original slave looked like, okay? I'm just saying. I would like my reparations tomorrow if I could. my people for 1,200 years, the Slavic people were treated really bad. Okay, let's get that. Okay, guys, performances. There's no performances I liked. Charlize Theron, I didn't mind. Charlize Theron was kind of okay. Cersei, the lady that played Cersei, what was her name? Shannon? I forgot her name. There's so many names to remember, especially when you're live. She did okay, but of course the men were pigs, and they were just reflecting who they really were. Okay, really, this isn't much of a fucking feminist movie, is it? Holy jeez, like enough. Well, give the women the swords and let them go to war. You know what happens if you had if you in those days, if you marched an army of like 20,000 women with swords, you know what would happen? You know what would happen, right? They get slaughtered. I mean, freaking slaughtered, right? There would be like even just barely flesh wounds on the other side. Let's say 50,000 women soldiers from Greece marched upon Troy. I'm just saying, let's just give the example. I'm not being anti-woman or pro-male. I don't give a shit about that stuff. Everyone's a human being. Every human being deserves respect. Period. But you march 50,000 women with swords and spears and shields and trying to man those catapults, fucking fire. The Trojans would be there like, what do we do? Like, I guess just rain arrows down on them. I mean, they'd send like a force of like 300 male soldiers out. And then when all the women have been wiped out, and there's, that's why the women are always kept behind, right? Because they are the bears. They've got the magic. Women have the magic of birth. That's why men are expendable, because women get like women are freaking important. Why? Because look, you can have a society with 70% men and 30% women. But when you have 30% women and 70% men, your society is in fucking trouble, guys. It is. So I'm telling you right now, okay? Women, from the societal perspective, because they give birth, are more important from that perspective. They are. I hate feminism. Because what it dictates is we need to organize and bully. We need to bully people from the ideology of a gang. And from this gang ideology, we will get our way. That's what feminism is. That's what it is. It's horrible. I hate it. I have no desire to be around feminists. I don't. They're ideological, crash, angry people. I just want to be around good people I enjoy, men, women, whatever it is. But there is a function that women have that usurps the whole idea of men. You need lots of women to create population. If you got 70% women and 30% men, you're okay. You're okay. Genetic markers, the percentage of, you're good. But if you got 75% guys and 25% women, your society is dead. It's over. Right? So that is why, when you think of like the whole Darwinism, holy gee, what the hell, man? Darwin, like the whole idea. This is why a lot of these things, men go to war. I don't like it. I don't want to go to war. But that is a big deal. Like, stop the feminism in this shit. So if the women want to go to war, go to war. Grab a sword, grab a shield, the armor's freaking heavy. No shit. Yeah, I know. The shield is 15 pounds. Now you're going to have to march with it for 100 miles up that way. Shut the fuck up and march. Right? Like 300. So we march. That's where I wish. You know what this movie needed, the Odyssey? It needed a little bit of 300. It needed a little bit of fucking Gerard Butler. If you would have taken a little bit of 300, and look, there's so many things wrong with the Odyssey. Cinematography. This was the weakest cinematography I've ever seen in a Nolan movie. The scene edits were so clumsy. The camera angles, especially in the third act, guys, if you watch the camera angles, you know what you want to do now? Dune 3 is out on December 17th, right? Denis Villeneuve, if you want to look at a director that has masterful perception of, you see directors always doing this, right? You see like James Cameron's got some stuff, he's doing this. It's understanding the camera frame. It's not bullshit. It is understanding the camera frame. This is what is in the camera frame. Denis Villeneuve, if you watch the second Dune or the first Dune, this is a director. And he is a master of the close-up. Look, films are understood through the close-up. What does the close-up give you? It gives you the emotional resonance of the character. Actors love the close-up. Actors hate the close-up. They hate the close-up because every single flaw, right? If you imagine if there's a camera that is this far away, well, digital cameras, you don't need to be that close to the face anymore, right? But they're close. And you know it's a close-on shot, so they can't move it's not like they can move their head. They got to keep their head straight, and they have to act. And that is why actors need to have absolute self-confidence, at least when they're acting, right? Oh, my nose is too big at this angle. It doesn't fucking matter. Oh, I don't like my forehead at this angle. It doesn't fucking matter. Think the director cares? And so the close-up, Denis Villeneuve, Dune 2 and 3, if you watch those two and then you watch this B movie called The Odyssey, you will see, I mean, this is an absolute disgrace. This is the crown, the halo. It's not even a crown. This is a halo. The Christopher Nolan halo, my friends. This movie is done. Has destroyed it. The costumes were terrible. We've already been through the Numenorian. They lent them the Numenorian. The Trojans. Oh, fucking me, dear God. All like, I can't find. I don't remember an example of any of the costumes that I really enjoyed. I really don't. The sets were abysmal. I want to go through this because I want to get to the fraud part. I mentioned consumer fraud. Reviews are consumer fraud. And we're going to get into that. I'm going to show you, and you will believe me. Just like Fashion Nova was hit from the FTC for deleting 1, 2, 3-star reviews, same thing. We're gonna visual effects, end of practice. This is the end of practical effects. Dear God, why would you shoot? Please answer me this question. Can someone with half a frickin' brain? No, Christopher Nolan, sit down. I'll get someone else to answer this. Why would you use practical effects? Which is how we shot movies 30 years ago, right? 30 years ago, if you spend any time in Hollywood, I spent 20 years there. I'm a screenwriter. I've been there, done that. Why would you not use CGI? It's like saying, you know what? I'm going to drive a 1990 Honda Civic. I don't believe in power steering. I don't believe in power brakes. I don't believe in any of this new technology that 30 years of technology has driven. I want a good old 1990 Honda fucking Civic. Give me a 1990 Honda Civic. Please. I don't want a 2026 Honda Civic. I want a good old 1990. That's what you're watching here, my friends. You are watching The Odyssey is like a 1990 Honda Civic. You could be in a 2026 Honda Civic, but oh no. No, I want. Give me the 19 fucking 90 Honda Civic. Nolan. It's called computers. It's okay to take your movie. Now, understanding you're filming it using IMAX, right? Now, a lot of people don't understand the whole process of taking film. Now, there's no reason why you wouldn't want to digitize. This is not an IMAX movie, and I've said from day two, I always say this, guys, from day two, Nolan was the wrong director. I maintained it before this movie, and I maintain it now. He is the wrong freaking director for the Odyssey. The Odyssey doesn't work as a movie. It has to be 2 seasons, 8 episodes, 16 episodes long. 20 episodes. You want more episodes? I'll give you more episodes. Hey, Dave and Dave, D&D, you want more episodes? No, we only need 6 episodes for season 8. I'll give you 2 more seasons. No. We only need 6 episodes to wrap this baby up. But if you want 3 more seasons of Game of Thrones, we'll give it to you. What do you want? 4 more seasons? We can stretch this bit. No, I think 6 episodes in season 8 will fucking about do it. No, we're good with that. The battles, guys, no one does a worse fight scene than Christopher Nolan. Nobody. It is the worst. There's no way. Now, yes, I was a kickboxer for 8 years. I've been there, done that. I fucking know a few things about fighting. I've got my ass kicked. I've had bruises on my face. I've had blood out my nose, and I've dished it out myself. But you don't need to be that to understand when you watch Ben Affleck and Batman v Superman in that warehouse scene when he goes into the 2nd floor and he goes up there. That is the best fucking Batman fight scene. Ben Affleck. Zack Snyder knows how to do a fight scene. The beginning of The Watchmen. Have you guys watched The Watchmen from Zack Snyder? You have to. Don't watch the TV show. Don't watch the TV thing. You gotta. That fight is freaking brilliance. Brilliance. The battles are pathetic. A giant picks up a guy. He throws a guy through a tree, and the tree. Okay, you're like, okay, I understand physics. I mean, there's no way that could happen. I don't know even how strong. You couldn't. The velocity you would have to throw a human being to like break a tree like that would be like, I don't know what you'd have to be approaching, like probably Mach 15. I don't know. Nice plate armor. 3,000 years ago, they had the plate armor, and they come out like, you don't even understand. These giants don't even have a motivation, right? They see a like 6'6" little 12-year-old. It's like, wait, that's not a. And this was the scene. Alan Ing. I remember watching Out of the Theater reaction from Alan Ing, and he said it. And I was waiting for it when I watched the movie. Have you guys watched Monty Python, The Holy Grail? And they're there at the French castle, and they start shooting cows. They shoot cows out with a catapult, and it's like, run away, run away, run away. That is exactly the time. I'm telling you, I laughed my freaking head off. I was in the theater because all I saw was Alan Ing's face, Monty Python, and the whole runaway thing. And it was like clockwork. It was on the freaking money. Now, if a movie does that to you, if a movie reminds you almost to a T of a freaking comedy to the level of Monty Python, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. The sea storms, I'll tell you, man, the sea storms, if you don't go like this, it is so loud. It's painful. It is painful. The mythology world building was virtually non-existent. It literally relied on the idea that everyone knew that this was the Odyssey. So based on, like, look, the wide shot, what's called an establishing shot, guys. They had the same establishing shot of Ithaca. On top of that mountain, that same boring establishing shot. It's like they didn't have enough money to hire the drone to take multiple scenes of the establishing shot of the castle of Ithaca. You're like, okay, this literally reminds me of a B movie that says, we don't have enough money to refilm it. Do we have some? Can we just reuse that one? We can reuse it 4 or 5 times if you want. Okay, let's do that. If it saves money, let's do that. Because I'm telling you guys, Nolan took 10 or 12 points right off the top, off the frickin' gross. And this is what every person on YouTube is fucking up on. You think it's $250 million plus $150 million in marketing equals $400 million equals $800 million box office to break even? I'll guarantee you. Nolan, after Oppenheimer, was in the frickin' driver's seat. And he sat down just like James Cameron gets points on Avatar, just like any huge director, just like the people from Friends, just like the Seinfeld cast get ongoing percentages from Christopher Nolan took a percentage. And his percentage, I will guarantee you. It is 10 to 15%. Now, you add that to the $400 million production and marketing budget. You got $1 billion. I don't think, I've said this on my Thursday show, this movie is not going to do more than $600 million. As a matter of fact, I think the week 2 drop off on this thing is going to be monstrous. Between 500 to 600 million. To the downside, 600 million. This movie is absolutely horrendous. This is a disaster for Christopher Nolan, guys. This is an absolute disaster. The antagonist, what antagonist? Robert Pattinson? You found him to be a good antagonist? Yeah, he's right up there with Thanos. Oh yeah, he was a great. He felt so threatening. Did you really think? Holy fuck me! Anyone who likes this movie, did you really think that Robert Pattinson? Did you see the new Batman thing with the Batman collar? The fucking Batman collar? He's got the fucking Batman collar? Holy jeez, Matt Reeves. I don't know what's going on with movies. I don't know. Everyone wants an explanation. How can they do this? What's going on in Hollywood, guys? I left Hollywood about a year ago. I got my own production company. I'm gonna do my own screenplays somehow. I'll find a way. I got people sniffing fire hydrants for me. With my, I got some award. All my screenplays are awarded. But anyway, I don't know. I don't know. People ask me as a screenwriter. They say, Danny, how could someone like James Gunn hire someone like what's her name, Nia? Why do I remember her? For Anna. To write a screenplay, and she's got no experience writing a screenplay. How do you think I know? You're hired. It's like, okay, you're hired. All right, come on to the desk. No, you're good. No, that's good. You're good. Like, but can you write a screenplay? Okay. Well, I just, all right. You think I know? I mean, I've run a company my whole life. I've run a company. I've never had a job. I'm a kind of guy, I've always been an entrepreneur, one way or the other. I mean, would I hire somebody for a position? What's your experience? None. Well, did you go to university and take creative writing? No. Have you done, you're an actress. Oh. Well, I guess you're hired. I don't know. But if I'm David Zaslav, the CEO of Warner, and my guy, James Gunn, is handling my division called DCU like this, I'm telling you, man. You guys remember Entourage? Well, what's his name? Ari is doing the march. Dun, dun, dun. He's got one of the best scenes in TV. Entourage. If you guys have not watched Entourage, watch Entourage. Seriously. Entourage is one of the best TV shows ever made. Entourage! Give me a fucking hell yeah for Entourage. It's right beside the Matrix. I have an Entourage poster. I love those guys. I met a couple of guys when I lived in Hollywood. When I lived in Los Angeles, I met a couple of guys. Really, they're all really nice guys. Ari, what's his name? But all really good guys. Awards? Are there going to be any awards for this movie? Razzie Awards. There had better be some freaking Razzie Awards. John Leguizamo for Worst Actor. Can I get a fucking hell yeah for John Leguizamo and the Worst fucking Supporting Actor Award? me sick. It makes me sick how people could think this is a good movie. I mean, I went into it. My expectations were so low on this movie, guys, so low. And I've been in Hollywood, right? I am a screenwriter, still writing screenplays. This is the shit that I do. And I do computers. I do production and stuff like that. And you watch this stuff and you're like, what? What? I don't know. I'll tell you, anyone that's worked in Hollywood, you ask them, how could somebody, I don't know. That's why I moved away from Hollywood. That's why I'm no longer, did you see Tom Cruise? Did you see Tom Cruise talking about the Odyssey? I mean, look, the last 2 movies from Tom Cruise were not that fucking good. You talk about exposition dumps. Like, well, what? I gotta watch 30 minutes of a freaking it's just 2 characters, 3 characters talking about what's happening. So you're gonna tell me the entire story just sitting around? So I gotta sit. I just bought a $20 ticket and $20 worth of fucking popcorn to watch Tom Cruise and company talk about what's gonna happen. Holy fuck! It's like Tenet, right? It's like have you watched Tenet? Odyssey is worse than Tenet. It is the protagonist. So the only awards coming from these mofos is a Razzie Award. This is, guys, the ending is so bad. You will watch the movie. I'm sure a lot of you are going to watch the movie. The third act, call it the last hour, 45 minutes. You're like, oh my God, you're laughing some places. You got literally Matt Damon standing there with an arrow tip. He's fighting 50 people with a bow and arrow. Like you, if you're gonna have a Conan the Barbarian moment, you better make it a Conan the fucking Barbarian moment. You know what I'm saying? The funny part was, I wish I had a hood. The whole time he's in a hood, right? He's in a fucking hood. He's like this. He won't show his face because then someone might notice him. It's like he's in a hood, right? And he goes, "Who are you?" "I'm a veteran of the Trojan War." You're what? Excuse me? I'm a veteran of the Trojan War. Okay, but who are you? What the fuck are we listening to? Who are you? Well, I asked you who you are. Hey, John Leguizamo, who is this guy? Did you guys see? There's a dog. There's a dog. They take the dog out in the beginning. This is Odysseus' dog. They take the dog out in the beginning of the movie. They put it on this pile of, I don't know what, that's gonna burn it. I guess it's a pile of garbage or something. Like Odysseus comes back at the end of the movie and the dog is still on the fucking pile. What the fuck am I watching here? The speeches go on forever. You think they go on so long, you lose interest. You no longer know what they're even fucking talking about. You don't, because you lose interest. You get like an itch somewhere. You start itching yourself, and you start thinking, "Oh, geez, I think I left my gardening shears out. I don't think I put them back in the shed." It's like, I don't think I put my. Do I have any popcorn left? I go, "Oh shit, what's going on in the movie?" Oh my God. Oh, they're still talking. I got. But I think where did I put my gardening shears? I can't remember where I put my gardening shears. This is while you're watching the movie, right? This is literally while you're watching. You get so fucking bored. You need a buddy. If you're going to go watch the movie, bring a buddy. And here's why you need a buddy, my friends. Either one of you. I'm going to watch you, you watch me. If you see me doing this, give me a nudge. Give me a nudge. Wake up. Oh, sorry, fuck it. That's what you need. This movie commands the sleep position. It really fucking does. It's like, go to sleep. Okay, here's what I want to do, guys. Here's what I want. This is like fraud. And this is a serious where the Federal Trade Commission, FTC finalizes. Yeah. So let me start with this. This is what drives me absolutely crazy. And this is consumer fraud at its worst. And if you're ever going to watch this live show, you're going to watch it because of this. And please understand, this is serious shit. Okay? This happened back in where are we here? FTC finalizes order with Fashion Nova over allegations it blocked negative reviews. Are we reading that? FTC finalizes order with Fashion Nova. Allegations it blocked negative reviews March 21st, 2022. The Federal Trade Commission has finalized an order settling allegations that online fashion retailer Fashion Nova LLC blocked negative reviews of its products from being posted to its website. Under the final order, Fashion Nova will pay $4.2 million and is prohibited from suppressing customer reviews of its products. This is FTC.gov, mofos. In a complaint first announced in January 2022. So where is the complaint against IMDb, Rotten Tomatoes, and these bullshit movie review websites that are perpetrating a fraud on the public? That's what I'm asking. If Fashion Nova did it, you're telling me IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes aren't doing it? In a complaint first announced January 20, the FTC alleged Fashion Nova misrepresented the product review on the website, reflected the views of all purchasers who submitted views, when in fact it suppressed views with ratings lower than 4 stars out of 5. That's what they got nailed on. In addition, now this is fraud. This is consumer fraud. This is review fraud. This is fraud from Fashion Nova suppressing negative reviews from the FTC. In addition to the $4.2 million for harm consumers incurred, are you telling me that consumers are not incurring harm from the bullshit reviews that they put up? And we're going to get into this. There's a lot we're getting into. Hold up here. It must also post on its website the FTC is mandating by order. It must also post on its website all customer reviews of products currently being sold, with the exception of reviews that contain obscene, sexually explicit, racist, or unlawful content, and reviews that are unrelated to the product or customer review, blah, blah, blah. After receiving one comment, the commission voted 4-0 to approve the complaint and settlement order and send a response to the commenter. The Federal Trade Commission works to promote yada, 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 bullshit, So anyway, that's what I'm saying. The FTC, Fashion Nova, now Fashion Nova does 5 stars. So you're talking anything equivalent for IMDb would be 8 stars and below. If it's not 8 stars, if it's not 9 or 10 stars, we're going to fucking delete it. We're going to delete it. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent. Now, if I may, thank you to Critical Drinker. The Critical Drinker actually put this together. He saved me some time, so I didn't have to. Thank you, my friend. Well done, doing some good work there. 1P. These are people, 0 followers, 0 following. 1P had 5 stars. Salvador V, 0 following, 0, 0. Trent G, 0. On other movies, I've got like entire databases that I put together of this bullshit. These are fake reviews for the purpose of. I'm gonna get it now. After this, hold on a second. Before let me do this. Let me do this. What is consumer fraud? What is consumer fraud? Please define this for me, Danny. Consumer fraud refers to deceptive, unfair, or dishonest practices used by businesses or individuals to exploit buyers. It occurs when someone lies or conceals material facts to induce a customer into making a purchase or handing over personal or financial information, ultimately leading to a loss. Now, deceptive, unfair, or dishonest practices used by businesses or individuals to exploit buyers. They're trying to gin up the ranking, the rating of a movie by deleting the low ones. It occurs when someone lies or conceals, ladies and gentlemen, conceals material facts to induce a consumer into making a purchase or handing over personal or financial information, ultimately leading to a loss. I mean, this is just part of the evidence. I've got tons of evidence on other movies. Nestle, Q, these are all people that have got that are literally, they've got no history. They've never made a comment on anything ever. It is all over the place. This is Rotten Tomatoes. It's endless on IMDb. Endless, but it's 5 stars. And then when you read the comment is as generic gets. And this is what consumer fraud. This is the fraud that IMDb, and look, this is my opinion. I don't think they want to take this to court. I don't think they want the FTC to look into this. 8.3 rating. Now, let me explain to you why. Now, whether IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes is perpetrating a fraud on the public is 100% dependent upon the evidence that is presented in a court of law. Do they have evidence that would exonerate them? Maybe, but there's plenty of evidence to show that they constantly delete low-level reviews, just like Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova deleted anything that was 4 out of 5 and below. And the FTC charged them? Well, how come how come we don't at least look into IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes? Because they're trying to gin up. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to go in there and blur that out. They will nail me for that now. They are nail. Now, okay. Now let me tell you, look at this, guys. Now here's the part 1 of why this is all BS. Look at the 10s. Look at the 10s, 36.2%, the 9. So basically, you've got the 7, 8, 9, and 10s that comprise 15, 20, 43, 7, 80%. You're looking at about 80%. 80%. Now, I'm going to go down to the more... this one doesn't make sense. Disappointing, 9 out of 10. Whoa, did you want to hit 2? Well, we'll start with this one. Why is this bullshit? One of the most rewarding cinematic experiences of the year, 9 out of 10, says, I'm not sure who. Oh, Kareem A361. That doesn't sound generic. While Nolan's lack of context surrounding the background of the Trojan War, it's very yada, yada, yada. Look at Helpful, guys. This is the important part. This is what I need you to watch. This is what we're going to be reviewing. I don't need to. 1.4 thousand. They give the downvote on this review, 700, that's a 50-50. Well, 60, it's almost exactly 66% of the votes go for a down view, okay? Now, there's no number on this. Homer deserved much better than a movie from Christopher Nolan. You're damn right he did. Christopher Nolan, this is an abomination. This is a $250 million B movie. But take a look at this. 1.1 thousand people. Again, 66% of the people said, yeah, you're right. Homer did deserve better. 10 out of 10 between gods and men, they say. When I think of the greatest cinematic epics of all time, Lawrence of Arabia, Gone with the Wind, Ben-Hur, yada, yada, yada. Downvotes, 2.5 thousand to 1.4 thousand. Oh, yeah, I'll put my vote in there for that. 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10. A movie meant for the the big screen. 654 versus 275. Now we're getting to the 75-25 ratio. 3/4 of the people. Now, if most people are putting a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, you are going to have the exact opposite. You're going to have 75, 80% of the people saying, yeah, man, we agree with you. This is where I say the potential fraud in what IMDb is perpetrating is clearly evident because they don't hide these. They don't hide those. They'd have to redo their software. 9 out of 10, 3 hours, 0 bathroom breaks, 0 regrets. The only thing I regretted was paying ultimately $40 to see this POS. Helpful? 504 people say no. There's, again, 65% of the people. An epic Odyssey, not just for Odysseus. Let's read this one. Christopher Nolan, the biggest and arguably greatest modern director in the world, and I would argue that he is, compared to what Steven Spielberg did for almost 3 decades. Steven Spielberg, 2.5 decades. You can go into IMDb and see the kinds of movies that Steven Spielberg did. Christopher Nolan is nothing close. He is a terrible screenwriter, and the Odyssey is reflecting his weakness. He is great at spectacle, just like Guillermo del Toro. Frankenstein is the exact same movie as The Shape of Water. It's the exact same freaking movie. Modern director, known for creating incredible, groundbreaking masterpieces such as The Prestige. Not bad, not bad. The Dark Knight, one of the worst screenplays ever written. And I'm still waiting for a screenplay guy or woman to come online live with me and argue the merits scene by scene. Not the spectacle, the screenplay. I'm waiting. Give me a call. Email me. We'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Oh, wait, I got that. Was that what I got?
Fucking thing sucks.
Oh, that's what I got. There we go. An epic 8 out of 10. 1,000 people say no. 4.23 people say, oh yeah, that's helpful. That is, now we're getting into the 3/4 of the people are calling this bullshit. 10 out of 10, The Odyssey, a mature epic of extraordinary power. Whoa, who uses that language of extraordinary power? Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is a film whose monumental scale does not come from spectacle alone. Everything that Christopher Nolan does comes from freaking spectacle, you stupid dumbass. Habibi? There's another guy from India, Habibi? Wasn't there a Habibi? Habibi, look at this. Look at this. Habibi Hakim, 1, 2, 3. Habibi. What the got Habibi universe? Habibi. Did I not just prove to you the bullshit that's going on? Habibi. Habibi! Fuck you, Nolan. You and your bullshit consumer fraud that you're perpetrating through these freaking reviews. And I hope you sue me, because I know I could probably get a lawyer that will say, no, we'll protect them for we'll take this lawsuit on for legal right or legal expenses. The countersuit would be fucking awesome. This is why we go to movies. 10 out of 10, my friends. Is it Habibi? No, it's Svef. It's Svef Nuv Carmen. Look at this. Look at this. This is why we go to movies. 10 out of 10. This is why we go to Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey has finally arrived after years of anticipation. Years. It's been a year, 2 years. What do you mean years? It's like he announced it in 2014. It's just coming out now, 12 years. Fuck you. Holy jeez, incredible. But here we go, my friends. 1.2 thousand versus, now we're getting to 80%. 80% of the people are saying, no, you cannot hide this. Odysseus's burden, 1.1 thousand to 334. If this was going to be legitimate, you would have 1.1 thousand with the thumbs up and 334 with the thumbs down. Advance 467, which sounds like a authentic reviewer. Advance 467. $1.2 thousand, 80%. Carlin Drew Cruz. Oh, that one looks real. Now here we go. I want to get here's some of the reviews that are probably more authentic. Now look what happens to the thumbs up and the thumbs down. 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. The suspension of belief, which is that's not even, look, it's the Odyssey. There's got to be a suspension of belief. Regardless, I'm not going to get into the merits of it. Helpful, 799, down 316. 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10. Now, if the majority of people, 80% were 7, 8, 9, or 10 out of 10. 80%. Helpful, 582. Not helpful, 201. Honest opinion, I wasn't exactly sold by didn't give a number. Helpful, 918. Not helpful, 341. 10 out of 10. Same thing, same trend. Nolan turns an episodic legend into a deeply personal saga. God tier filmmaking. No, it's B-level fucking movie making. This is some of the worst movie making. Look, some of the scene transitions, the acting, the dialogue. I didn't even get into the dialogue. The dialogue in this movie is so bad. Christopher Nolan transforms one of the oldest stories ever told into a monumental odyssey of guilt, longing. Oh, holy jeez. You pull out a thesaurus and you had AI wrote this shit, right? Thursday, July 9th, 2026. If you're real. 1.3 thousand people. We're getting to 83% on this one. Doing the math in my head. 354 people found this helpful. 1.3 thousand found this to be a joke. Speechless. I can't believe what I just saw. Cinema at its peak. 1.2 thousand people say it's bullshit. Only 307 agree. This is why, guys, it should be the exact opposite. What we saw, 7, 8, 9, and 10, the majority of the votes, it should be reversed. Because what the studios are doing, and it's been proven that they're doing this, they are paying people in third world countries to go and manufacture fake reviews. Fake reviews. And that is, my friends, that is consumer fraud. Refers to deceptive, unfair, or dishonest practices used by businesses or individuals to exploit buyers. It occurs when someone lies or conceals material facts to induce a consumer into making a purchase or handing over personal and financial information or assets like cash for a movie ticket, ultimately leading to a loss. Okay? That is fraud. Dishonest practices used by businesses or individuals to exploit buyers. It happens when someone lies or conceals material facts to induce a customer into making a fucking purchase. Okay? That's fraud. That's what fraud is. 10 out of 10. Odyssey, the best period movie. Well, I think a lot of women might disagree with that, but did I say that? Again, the best, helpful 152, not helpful 572. We are back to, what is that exact? I'm going to say that is what? Oh, that's almost exactly 75%, isn't it? 724 total. 572 divided by 724. Oh, 79%. 79, 80%. The Odyssey, this one is literally, it says 10 out of 10, but 80% of the people say it's bullshit, motherfucker. It's bullshit, okay? Absolute Cinema, same thing. This is actually going up way above 80%. And ladies and gentlemen, that is my point. There is a fraud that's being perpetrated through IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes. And it's the same thing that Critical Drinker has uncovered. Where's Critical Drinker? Oh, there he is. Now, I uncovered this on a lot of IMDb stuff, which I have screenshots. I have literally screenshots of the bullshit and the fraud that is perpetrated upon the public. And there it is. This is critical. Look, there is way more than this that I have. Oh, and so you know what? So here's the other thing. Let me throw this in there really quickly. This is funny. I did a on the post. I did a I think late yesterday, I did, okay, you know what? Over the weekend, we're getting a lot of people. Usually get about 2,000 people coming on and doing the, so we have 225. Usually when you get to around 200 or 300 votes, it doesn't change. But normally I get about 2,000, but we're just getting through, so I wanted to start it yesterday. But we got 225 votes, and here's what I did. And this is a smattering of the people that watch POPRAGEOUS. And here's the data. The Odyssey, did you like it? It's a very simple question. Loved it, awesome. 8+. It was okay, but not good, 6 to 8. It was not good, 4 to 6. And the Odyssey sucked, 1 to 4. And there's your percentages. 13% loved it. 17% thought it was okay, not good. This is where I fell into. It was not good, 4 to 6. I would have given it a 4. I give it a 5 because it was Nolan, which is probably stupid. But still, it's still, look, 4 or 5 means do not go pay money to see this thing. And people that absolutely thought it sucked, 58%. 58%. 58. So that is when you take a look at the consumer fraud that is being perpetrated by IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes on behalf of the studios. I showed you how the FTC, they find Fashion Nova, right? They find Fashion Nova. The FTC finalizes order with Fashion Nova over allegations it blocked negative reviews. $4.2 million. For deleting 4 to 5 stars and below. So shouldn't that also apply to IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes? Like, shouldn't there be, because they are literally trying to change, and I'm sure they're getting paid. I'm sure there's someone's getting paid something somewhere. But it's a travesty, guys. It's a travesty. The Nolan movie, this is a movie that is going to be Nolan's worst. It's worse than Tenet. It is a disaster in dialogue. When I write my screenplays, my God, the amount of time I spend on dialogue is insane. I don't think there's anything, you don't spend any, when you write a screenplay, I don't think you spend any more time on anything else other than dialogue sometimes, because dialogue is the way so much gets out, right? Because you want to show, don't tell, right? That's a movie. If you have your main characters saying too much, exposition, right? If they're telling you about what's going to happen and what they're going to do and how they're going to do it, which is basically Tenet, right? What was the problem with Tenet? The protagonist, they couldn't even come up with a name for the protagonist. Every time he got somewhere, they explained, the first 5 minutes of that section was spent explaining what was about to happen. Then they went and did it. Then they went to the next section. In Tenet, they explained it, and then they went and did it. Then in the last section, they spent 5 minutes explaining everything, and then they went and they did it. That's good screenwriting, and this is what makes good screenwriting very hard. Good screenwriting will make you think and go, what is going on? And then coherently, based on what the actors do, what the characters do, and how the plot unfolds, you're like, oh my God. And you're hit with some sort of an emotional response at the end of it. You don't need characters telling you everything. The Odyssey, my friends, the Odyssey is it is the worst movie. It is a B movie. It is the most expensive B movie ever filmed. You heard it here on POPRAGEOUS. The Odyssey is the most expensive B movie ever filmed. John Leguizamo deserves a Razzie Award. You could throw Robert Pattinson in there for a Razzie Award. There is no acting performance. Charlize Theron was okay, and the gal that did the Cersei with the pigs, because it's just men showing their true form. Men are pigs. The feminist representation throughout this script is, and like I say, if the feminists, if they want to be the first ones to grab swords and armor and shields and go fight, go ahead. Put the fucking feminists out front. You know what? You want to go fight? You want to go fight in a medieval war? You dumbasses. I'm not a big fan of feminism. I'm not. I think it's basically what feminism says is we're going to gang up on you. So we're going to turn into a gang. It's like gang warfare, right? Women have a lot more laws protecting them than men do. A lot more laws. Women have so many laws that protect them. All you got to do is watch any divorce case and see how it turns out for the guy. Like, guys, if you're smart, you don't get married in today's freaking society. I don't know. That's just me talking. It's my show, so that's what we do. We talk. The Odyssey, guys. If like I said, 5 out of 10, and that is a very generous 5 out of 10. I'm much more inclined, what's his name from Film Threat, Alan Ing, to be a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10, 5. This movie is garbage. It's the most expensive B movie ever filmed, and I will happily defend that statement. I don't. What else do I want to say? It's the worst third act. It's everything, guys. You know what? Honestly, do not go see this movie. Even if you're a Nolan fan. Even if you're a Nolan fan, this will make you a not Nolan fan. You will start to see the stuff that I've been saying for years about the absolute garbage quality of his screenwriting. And this movie, look, Christopher Nolan, stop the frickin' 100% practical effects. It's okay. Look, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, if you're doing a movie in the 80s, okay, you're using practical effects. It's okay to use fucking CGI, you dumbass. It is. I'm sick and tired of people saying, oh, it's all practical effects. Who cares? You got the most powerful computers in the world. NVIDIA is creating computer chips. Each time they get a new generation of computer chips, it's like 2,000 times the processing power. And your stupid ass mind, from a director, from a creator standpoint, no, we're gonna shoot this practically. Well, you know what? You literally just showed why you should use some CGI, Nolan. You literally just showed it. It's my opinion, not maybe yours. I don't know. Guys, that's all we're gonna have for tonight. I mean, I could talk endlessly about how bad I think this movie is. This is the end of Nolan's Halo. It's the end. The Christopher Nolan Halo is done. Everyone has seen how bad of a film this guy can make. This guy is not omnipowerful when it comes to making stuff. Most of his movies are not that good. Most of his movies, my friends, are not that good. He is good at spectacle. That's all he's good at. Spectacle. My name is Danny Alex, guys. This is POPRAGEOUS. That's all I've got to say for tonight. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts. These are my thoughts. Hopefully your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. And, geez, I don't know what else to say. I will see you on Tuesday night. Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, we go live, my friends. You have a great weekend. Thank you. Sorry, you're still there.
Yeah, baby. Why are you not entertained?
I'm sorry, baby. I didn't know it was your turn.
You. Look at me.
Yes.
What's wrong with being sexy? I mean, there's no...
Sex.
These go to 11.
Does that mean it's louder?